I did not like being dependent on other people as a kid. I love being an adult and taking care of myself. Hey, I'm Allison, and today I'm sharing about how to move out and move on after being raised by a narcissistic parent. I'm going to be sharing my story after I share with you 2 main points on how to move out and all the other stuff I have to share involving the situation. So skip ahead to this time if you get bored along the way, if you have already moved out and are not interested in hearing my ideas on how to move out, or if you are purely interested in how I moved out. But first, I'm going to share how, and that is pretty much financial independence to move out and building a community, because if you have people around you who unconditionally love and support you, and you're a good person and you're not just mooching off of them, and you're working really hard to get to a point where you do have financial independence, you'll always be okay. You'll always have someone to turn to if you really get to a place where like you need help. And that's not something that we're used to. You know, that support isn't going to come from our parents and from our family. It's going to come from the family that we choose, our friends, that we have to get out in the world to find. Because it's likely that in this whole vortex of negative energy and toxic family dysfunction that we've attracted friends who don't really reflect our true selves. They reflect our false selves. More on that in my next video. And that they won't always be there for us. They love us conditionally as our parents do, as long as we play by their rules. So I think that's pretty much what I had to cover with the community aspect. So now diving into financial independence. We were never taught how to be financially stable. My mom was more of a parasite involving financial abuse, which there's so much to cover. I'm not going to get into it totally today, but she didn't like keeping a job. She liked to work for a little while, then get hurt, get workers' comp, you know, Munchausen's, and pretty much just mooch off my dad. And even off of us, like somehow, even though my dad's an engineer, we never had enough money. Like, that is my money mindset. There is never enough, and it's something that I'm actively telling myself, like, I have everything that I need. I have enough. I have more than enough. I have an abundance. There was never enough in my house. I went to school all day, and then I would go to dance like most nights. I didn't on Friday, Saturday nights, and then all day Sunday, and on those days I would work. I don't know how I got homework done or how I got by. I was doing stuff all the time, and I needed those jobs because I needed to pay for dance. Most people I danced with, their parents would pay for dance for them, but we didn't have enough money. And so I would just exhaust myself to make the money to dance. I think this is all just a clusterfuck, but she cannot keep a job. She would get workers' comp, and she would spend money like crazy on really stupid stuff, and there was never enough money, and there was never enough stuff, and the house was never clean enough because there was always so much stuff everywhere. The point I'm making is we weren't taught how to keep a job and keep money in our bank accounts, and we weren't taught that we have the resources to do what we want to do. And we weren't, when it came time for us to start gaining our independence, we weren't supported by our parent to do so. Normal parents encourage their kids to move out and gain their independence and become their own adult person, and we were largely hindered either beforehand or during. And this is when many of us realize that something is wrong. This is when the abuse gets worse, to really keep us down and like in a really bad place, so that we're not able to think about like moving forward. We're just thinking about like, how the hell do we get by today? Because the thought of losing all of their kids. So something interesting is that my older sister was actually kicked out of the house like more times than I can count on my hands, and so is my twin sister. She's been kicked out a million times and yet always sucked back in, hoovered back in. But it's the worst for my twin sister right now because everyone else has moved out. She's the last thing that my mom has, and my mom is trying so hard to keep her there, because if she leaves, who's gonna take care of her? And she's gonna have to focus more on herself. She's not gonna have this person, this scapegoat, to blame all of her problems on, and to focus on when things are getting a little boring and like it's time to self-reflect, which a narcissist cannot do because there's so much there that they have neglected to release and work through over time. They just can't do it anymore. They need to focus on someone else. So they're really scared to lose you, to lose this other part of themselves. And they will do everything they can to make it really hard for you to move out. So I'm gonna tell you how to move out anyways. So to move out, you will need income. That's really all there is to this financial independence thing. You'll need maybe a little bit of savings for a security deposit, but just starting out, I say don't worry about having a huge buffer of money to like pillow sit on, safety, security, whatever in your bank account. Just have an income. Have a little bit for a security deposit to move out, and then have enough income coming in to take care of your monthly nut, which is your rent, your utilities, your food, money for a car. If you don't have one, you gotta get on that. Money for gas, for your insurance, and for a phone, and for phone bills. What else? I moved out, but I didn't fully gain independence from my mom until I took over my phone bill, and I got a $60 phone at Metro POS. And I got a super cheap monthly bill. It's not unlimited data, but once you run out of data, they give you data. It's just not fast data. You just get kind of like the leftover, slow, whatever. Learn that you don't need the newest upgrade all the time. Materialism is another way that narcissists keep us financially and just physically bogged down. Like, we need all this stuff. You don't. You need peace of mind. You need to be able to walk through life with like things washing through you, through your heart, and not getting stuck in this vortex of unhealed, unreleased crap that you keep bringing in and holding on to. Things you need to be able to release, all these little things that come at you throughout the day so that you can move forward and grow and become your healthiest and happiest self. Guys, I usually put together what I'm going to talk about more than I did for this video, so it's kind of a rant at this point. So the advice that I'm giving you may be super terrible when I say you don't need a $1,000 emergency fund in your savings account just in case something goes wrong. But I just think it's more important for you to get that I can mindset momentum that comes with moving out of the house. I think that's more important. Like, society and our parents tell us that we need so much, and really we don't. As long as there's money coming in, you'll find a way. You're gonna make it. And look for opportunities to make more income, and look for opportunities to say no to whatever it is that you want to buy, so that you can reallocate that money towards building an emergency fund in case you get a flat tire, in case. Also, don't be super picky about the job that is getting you this income, because I was people pleasing, thinking that everyone was judging everything that I was doing. And like, obviously I wanted to be doing something that I enjoyed, but I fell into Starbucks, which brought me to another coffee shop, which brought me in line with a lot of different people who showed me another part-time job, which I ended up making my full-time job, which ended up leading me to the discovery of narcissism. And then I ended up going to a psych hospital where I discovered that I like working with kids on the autism spectrum, and now I'm doing ABA therapy, which has a nice compensation and like is able to allow me that one-on-one connection where I can see them progress, and I'm actually doing, you know, what I want to be doing. It'll flow, it'll happen, but in the beginning, just get a job, any job. Trust that it'll take you to the job that you want. Just make yourself some money, okay? Okay. I love being an adult. Hashtag adulting. A lot of people don't. They're like, oh my god, I've got to adult. I've got to do laundry. I've got to take care of myself. All these bills. I'm like, I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to do all this stuff. I'm able to care and support for myself. Like, it's amazing. It feels so good. I did not like being dependent on other people as a kid. I love being an adult and taking care of myself. And taking care of my cats. Check it out. Here he comes. Hi, baby. Sometimes, though, I do wish that I was a cat and didn't have to support myself. Just had humans take care of me and clean out my poop and feed me and pet me. So you do need this certain mindset. You need to know that you can. You need to know that you're disciplined enough to not spend your money elsewhere and spend it on what really matters, which is getting the out of your parents' house, because that is holding you back from all the greatness that you are worthy of and capable of. So let's talk about the obstacles in our way. Our parents may be enabling us, you know, by letting us live with them. That may be their tactic of keeping you around. They may love bomb and hoover you to keep you around. Or they may make it super hard on you. At an entry-level job, you may have to work a poop ton in order to make money to take care of that monthly nut. You may have to lower your standards for a while and live in kind of a, you know, less luxurious home and live a less luxurious lifestyle than you'd maybe prefer to. But trust that in time, that will come. And it'll be more rewarding because you've worked really hard for it. Right, baby? Another obstacle is that there are scary people in the world. I don't know if, I mean, I've never experienced living with strangers, but that is something that you have to think and move into with a lot of consideration. I recommend when you meet the person, taking maybe your friend's dad or maybe like a friend that's a boy with you if you're a lady. Come on friend. Oh my god, that was the biggest flop. It looked so awkward. Okay, sit down. He just wants all the love. I get it. Take measures to ensure that you're moving into a safe place with people who give you okay, intuitive feelings, and that you're not getting yourself into a even more bad situation than what you just left. But if you move through these obstacles and you gain financial independence and independence in your shelter, your living space, you will have no reason, oh my god, there will be no reason why your relationship with your narcissistic parent has to continue. It'll be purely out of desire. And then you'll be able to make the real, raw decision on if you really do desire that relationship to continue. There'll be nothing they have, oh my gosh, all this hair, to hold over your head. Now I'll tell you my story. So I grew up in my childhood house till I was 19 years old. High school was over, I was in college, and my parents finally got a divorce. I went to live with my dad, and my twin sister went to live with my mom, who she has moved out with me a couple times, but my mom's been able. What are you doing? My sister has tried to move out with me a couple times, but she's found it too hard financially, and my mom's been like, well, come live with me for free. And she's moved back with my mom only to then hate life, to be quite honest. So it's really important. For other friends, it's an option to move back with their parents to save a little bit of money. For me, it is not. It is in no way an option ever, no matter what, to ever move back with either of my parents, either my narcissistic mother or my alcoholic father, because I don't talk about him much, but he's not a joy to live with either. So I went to live with my dad, and I was getting involved with a bad crowd, getting involved with bad activities. I hit rock bottom and decided needs to change. Everything needs to change. And I stopped talking to most of the people who I had been talking with in my life, everyone who I was friends with in high school, and since I like cold turkey just cut them out. So maybe that's why no contact's like going okay for me right now. I've had practice saying this isn't vibing with who I'm trying to become. I'm not going to let it into my life anymore. I was working at Starbucks at the time, and a couple friends told me that they were moving out. 3 friends were moving into a house that had 3 bedrooms, and I was like, I have to move out with you. Like, no doubt about it, I am moving in. And they're like, the house is full. And I'm like, I will sleep in the basement, I will sleep in a tent outside, I don't care. I'm moving in with you guys. I just had this gut feeling that this was my opportunity. I had to seize it. At the end of that whole situation, the 3rd person didn't end up moving out, and I got a room. I made room for myself, and I got the fuck out of my parents' house. And it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I was talking to one of the boys, my best friend. He's actually coming to live with me again. So it's a story for another day. I love living with friends. It's actually, like, it's been hard. Roommates aren't easy, but in some cases they turn into your absolute best friends, like this guy has. I told him, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm kind of scared. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, with life, I don't feel like I live the way that normal people live. I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. And he said, Allie, none of us know what we're doing. And it was so, like, life-changing for me. And he probably has no recollection of this at all. But I was just like, wow, we're all just winging it. We're all just doing our best and, like, learning by experiencing new things. And so by doing this, I learned that you have to take lint out of the dryer. You can't use dish soap in the dishwasher. All these things. I really just winged it. I had no money, like negative amounts of money. And I was like, I'm doing it anyways. I have to. I'm making money. And that was what I chose to focus on, and that's what I encourage you to focus on. The fact that if you keep working, it'll work out. Just don't give up and build a community. Like, keep exploring in your life. If someone's not vibing, like, just say nope, no more. Go find, like, I work at a yoga studio. There are so many like-minded people there, like me. And, like, go somewhere like that where you'll be able to find people who are like you. And if someone catches your attention, like, you're intuitive, like, oh, that person, like, that's the person that I need to talk to right now, talk to them. If they have an opportunity, follow that opportunity. But who knows, maybe it just worked out like that for me, and it won't work like that for anyone else. But I kind of refuse to accept that. I think that following your heart will take you to all the right places, and you just need to take steps forward and trust that you're moving past all the that's trying to like keep you back there. Because man, I don't even know why. Just do it, okay? If you need any support or advice, please comment down below, and I will make it a point to always check on the comments on this video and give you advice and support. But at the end of the day, you'll give me a summary of what's going on in your life. You know everything. You know all the moving parts, and you know what's best for you. And you know that you can. You're capable of making the money, of making the right moves, of putting yourself out there. You can be that person, and if you feel called, go out and be that person. I hope that you enjoyed this nutty video about supporting your monthly nut and supporting yourself as you move beyond narcissistic abuse. This is the biggest thing you can do to show yourself that you don't need them, that you don't need anything, that you got this. You got this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you next time. So much love to you. So much. You're capable of anything. Bye.